All right, we're going to hear from Rob Bolton. We're going to have Rob on just a little bit early because we have the transition from Garrett setting up the Zoom with Coach Dykes. Emery's in the chair. He's going to be a part of this segment as we pick our 4 players for the PGA Championship at Valhalla in Kentucky. And then also, Mac Rhodes is going to be here in a few minutes to walk in the studio, and Emery warms up his seat for him. Rob Bolton, though, joins us live on 365 Sports. Before we get to the picks and the fact you've won now what is like a Red Auerbach, Boston Celtics, John Wooden, UCLA championship run, this is a course that, man, beautiful. I watched an overview with all the, drones. Rob, is this a course where they can go low, or is this going to be one where you hang around 3, 4, 5 under?
Afternoon, gentlemen. And you had me at Red Auerbach and John Wood. Please go on. It's fun playing with you guys. I'll leave it at that. So it depends. Because it's going to be soft, yes, it should be there for the taking in doses, in degrees. Hole locations will be typically, in my opinion, aren't enough of the storyline in real time. We think about other team sports and we zero in on some of the minutia and the detail, and fans. Many more fans in other sports are more familiar with the nuance of, let's say, a two-seam fastball, or how a hockey player maneuvers a stick when he crosses the blue line or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, in golf, we don't really talk about hole locations enough. So hole locations on a course can provide some of the best defense. Now, they have to keep it fair for the first 2 rounds. Hole locations are pretty much in the same spot. So the first 2 rounds especially, scoring could be really favorable. And that'll allow guys to loosen up a little bit. At the same time, it's the best field in any tournament all year round around the globe. So it won't be that easy. Scoring should be over par to par 71. It's a little bit longer this time around at over 7,600 yards. I don't know if length matters anymore, guys. I think we've all come to appreciate and respect that because everybody's hitting it long. But because it's going to be soft, it's going to be a challenge for the setup crew to give the course some teeth. But it probably won't really show off until the weekend.
All right, I have 5 names here who are going to pick. Craig Emery, Paul, you, and me. I've put a number next to each one of them, 1 through 5. Garrett, you give me a number, and whoever you give, like 1 through 5, that whoever is matched up gets the first pick.
Let's go number 3.
Number 3, Paul gets the first pick, so Koepka and Jenna Sims are gone. Now another one.
Not in that order.
Another number?
Yeah.
Let's go number 1.
Number 1 is Craig at the number 2 pick.
Then 4.
4 is Rob with number 3.
2.
That's me.
Then 5.
And then Emery will get back-to-back picks, okay? All right. This is interesting because you have the combination of the live players coming in with some of them, of course, major championship wins, and also some of them are red hot. So, Paul, no, you don't count. You're taking Brooks.
I am. He's won 3 of the last 6 of these things. Yeah. This is his tournament. There's no reason to think that he won't at least do well. I know he'll make the cut.
He won last weekend too, didn't he, Rob? At 54-hole live tournament.
Yeah, in Singapore. Yep.
Okay, Craig Smoke.
Give me Brooks Koepka.
That's what I just took.
Oh, sorry, Scotty Scheffler.
Scheffler. All right. Rob, you're next.
I got to go with Roy McIlroy.
Damn it. You think there's just going to be any distractions because of his personal life, what's going on? Or is he now more focused?
Well, personal life is always a distraction no matter the profession. But
right.
As Rory has said throughout the live situation, he's very good at compartmentalizing. And as anyone who has ever, just as a human, as a person, no matter your profession, has been through or been attached to, adjacent to a divorce with a child. This isn't something that just happened. It happens over time, and look at how he's been playing. So I am not worried.
He's also Irish, and they can compartmentalize better than most.
I am going to take.
Nice point.
Yeah, he just played well. Got overrun by the train of McIlroy, but I'm going to take Schauffele. Emery, you get 2.
I'm going to take Ludwig and Rahm.
Oberg and John Rahm. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Max Homa. And now it's Rob, it's your turn.
Yeah, I love how Colin Morikawa is entering this chip on the shoulder, and he's of incredible value on the betting boards for anybody who can get into that listening and watching. So Colin Morikawa.
All right, we go back to number 2. That's Craig.
Give me Bryson DeChambeau.
Boy, he was so completely overlooked at the Masters. And my goodness, played incredibly well for a pretty long time. Okay, back to you now, Paul. You get back to back.
Give me Sepp Straka and Joaquin Niemann.
You're going live. You have 2 live golfers. You traitor.
I know. It's tough.
Okay. All right. So back to Craig now with his 3rd pick.
Cam Smith.
Rob, you're next.
Yeah. He's just a big game performer. This puts me at risk, but he's number 12 in my power rankings. It's Wyndham Clark.
And a feature on him. And he went and saw, and a lot of players do, a lot of people do, but he went and saw like somebody that got him straight mentally about his golf game, correct? He had a lot of stuff in his head?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a really compelling life so far, losing his mom while in college and switching schools because he wasn't comfortable at his first choice. So it's like he's already undergone a lot, but his trajectory has been strong, and he's sort of fulfilling that, albeit a lot in the last year. Won the U.S. Open last year, and yeah, it basically just locked him in, and now he's been incredible.
All right, it's my turn. I like this guy. I don't know. He's probably not among the top 10 or 12 names, but I just like the way he plays. I'm going to take Thigala. And now, Emery, you get your last 2 picks.
I'm going to go with Hideki.
God, he's been kind of quiet with his name lately, huh?
And then I'm also going to go – I'll go Tony Finau.
Good pick. Man, he has not played. Rob, I'm going to probably take him, but has Cantley been kind of erratic, or is he just not at the top of the board much?
I think just expectations are so high. It's surprising when he's not in the top 10 every week. You know, it's one of those sorts of things. He's fine. He's at the focus of the situation as it concerns the tour and live and all of that. And maybe a bit of a distraction, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with him physically as far as we know. So he, in a weird way, does present as a sleeper for the PGA Championship. He is not in my power ranking.
He's not? Well, I said I'd take him,
not.
so what the hell, I'll take him. So I got him. So back to you, Rob.
Yeah, he was on my extras because I go only 15 deep, and obviously our draft is 20, so I had to have a couple of extra names on there. I'm glad you kind of made my decision for me, Smokey, because I was down to 2, and I'll take the other guy who is the local hero, Justin Thomas.
Yeah, man, that's another guy that seems like Liv has gotten a little bit into his mind, where he hasn't played really well, and there you go. So the hometown kid and Justin Thomas. Back to you, Craig.
Tommy Fleetwood.
I like the way he plays golf. Just love it. Paul, you're the last one. Go ahead. You're going to take Sergio now since your team live?
Absolutely not. I'm going to take Victor Hovland.
Okay. There's a guy that sometimes gets a mush head. All right, Rob, fire away.
There's lots of questions. I mean, Hovland should be in the first round. And the fact that he's last, well, he's Paul's fifth pick if you're including Sims among his among the investments this week, air quotes. Yeah, I wrote about Hovland this morning in Sleepers. In fact, as we're speaking, I think they're working on it, and I have him as propped for or touted for a top 5, and a lot of reasons for that. I just love the fact that he took some time off, got right, led the field in proximity last week at Valhalla. Like, his golf game is fine. It's in between his ears, and he needed a reset. I'm investing in that, so I like that at the end. Straka was bold, Paul. I think you were just looking at my power rankings, so I appreciate that, pal.
Yeah. I was.
Yeah, so Fleetwood, Craig, I mean, you know how I feel about you. I love you. And you always throw question marks out there, and somehow they answer the bell. Maybe not all at once, but they do eventually. And so that you got Smith in there, third round, and Fleetwood. I mean, you got a really solid team. I always look at you as a dark horse, and this week probably a front runner because that's a really strong lineup. Obviously, Scheffler at the top. Smokey again. I mean, you got Theegala in there. I mean, he was number 13 in my power rankings. He's going to win a major at some point, and his trajectory, a little bit like I was speaking about with Wyndham Clark. Theegala is basically in the middle of it. It's a really sharp upward arrow because he's been so talented, the pedigree and everything as an amateur, and just coasted into the pro ranks. So I would say third round makes sense for him, but people who are maybe not as familiar might think that's a reach. That is not a reach. And he's got Cantlay, again, a little bit like Hovland, comes in quiet, but always dangerous and never slumping. So, again, strong. I mean, nothing wrong there. And Emery, I mean, you won the U.S. Open last year with Wyndham as part of this draft. Aubert and Rahm, 1 and 2, they could have gone 1 and 2 overall, and you got them in the swing pick for the first time around. Matsuyama's health is always a concern, so that's, in my opinion, should never be drafted in this format because of that. But then again, if you happen to connect with him, when you have Finau anchoring that roster, suddenly you are a threat. So this format always caters to all of us looking really good on a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Well, here's the thing. Let me ask you this. Of the guys who were not picked, Fitzpatrick, is it On, Spieth, Lowry, and Jason Day? Because Jordan Spieth's been a mess too. Which of those 5 or 6 names did we miss the most on?
Yeah, it was hard to, I tend to have a longer appreciation or a great appreciation for maybe hitting when you're lucky rather than missing. I mean, Jason Day is this isn't necessarily breaking news. I don't know if it's published, but Jason Day is my outright sleeper at 5,500 plus 5,500 to, for the PGA Championship. His form is outstanding upon arrival. Again, to win is to win is to win. That's difficult. I was considering him instead of JT at the end. So if Emery would have taken JT and you would have gone Cantlay, I probably would have gone Day in that spot. So I think he just missed our draft. And then Matt Fitzpatrick, he's a guy who makes most cuts. So in this format, he's exceptionally valuable. We just chose not to lean on him this time. Mm-hmm. All of the others have value had we gone maybe another couple of rounds. So, guys just outside that bubble. But that's the beautiful thing about this championship. I once wrote that while the U.S. Open identifies the best golfer, the PGA Championship tends to identify the best golfer right now.
Okay.
And there's so many great guys, so many guys playing really greatly on the way in to this thing, including Day, including Fitzpatrick in his own way. And so when we think about guys like Cantlay and Hovland not playing well, suddenly they're indicted. But in a sense, the tournament should still reward them because Valhalla it's not a pushover, but it's going to probably be the easiest of the 4 major tournament hosts this year. Wind won't blow. It's going to be soft, as I mentioned. So it's going to be a place for guys maybe even to find their games as long as they have the confidence upon arrival. Hovland has some of that after last week. Cantlay has never lost on it, so maybe he finds his game just because of the comfort level playing in a big tournament like this.
All right, Rob, we'll put up all of our picks on Twitter, and we'll get reaction. One note for those who don't know, you could finish 1, 2, and 3 with 4 of your golfers, but if any of your players miss the cut, you're done. It's just one of the unique parts about what we do, even if it's unfair. If it's unfair, even reason why we should do it. Rob, we appreciate you very much as always. Thanks for your time.
You got it, guys. Thanks again.
Rob Bolton. By the way, Valhalla refers to the mythological Norse hall of slain warriors who rest under the watchful eye of the warrior god Odin.